everybody. Welcome to this episode of Make It Your Own Design Academy. And today we're going to focus on a few subtle ways that you can add your brand colors to your photos or to your graphics. So I have this template here. I'm just going to go in and swap out the photos with my own. And so let me do that here. Then I'm going to put that in here. I'm going to go in and I'm going to change it back to that black and white filter just to keep the same type of look. Let me see. It's a bit intense. No. Okay, I'm going to go with slate. All right, and then I'm gonna go in. I have another template here and I'm keeping that first one the same just because we can go back and kind of like compare. So I'm gonna go back to me and then I'm gonna choose a different photo. All right, so I'm gonna go with that. And then I think the third template doesn't have a photo. So all right, back to these photos here, this particular template. So typically you go in and change your font. I like to use pop-ins for like my personal brand. And then I do like this like cast drum head, which I got from Envato. So it's just switching that out. Now, one way that you can add your brand color to this particular photo, I'm just gonna make a copy. So one thing you can do is make the background a little bit transparent, and when you do that you'll see a background color icon pop up. Now when it pops up, it gives you the opportunity to change the color that is behind the photo. So something you can do is go ahead and click on one of your photos in your color palette. And then as you saw, you know, it changed the color a little bit, but it wasn't so drastic. So as you can see, you see the green or the lime color there. You see the darker blue, this like, I don't know if I should call it like a deep fuchsia type of something. You have the light pink and then the pale pink, and I have a whole bunch of colors. I haven't really solidified my personal brand just yet, but these are some of the colors that I typically use. So if we go back to that original, you can see that color here. And you could essentially try to do the same here, but with the duotone. So let me go back and copy that color. So if I copy that color and I come here, go to edit and go to duotone. Wait, how did I get to shadows? Or, okay, I did click shadows. Duotone, sorry. And when you customize it there, change the black to that color. And that's also another way to add some color there. Or you can undo that. And because it's a lighter color, you could put it in for the white instead and kind of change it there. So as you can see, the color is changed a bit here. And it's not something that you'll typically see there, right? Like in the manner that the color is used, but at the end of the day, it's still your brand color, or technically right now it's my brand color, right? I could remove that heart there. And what I could do is add a circle of my own, or even a square, and put in, make it a little bit smaller, and then put in a logo. Don't mind this. This is probably not the logo I'm going to be using in the future, but something I did create at a point for myself. So there you go. You could do your own type of stamp if you would like. If you wanted like a circular shadow, let me see if I can find that. You could do circular shadow. You want to make sure it's the same size. a little bit bigger because it's gonna go behind. Go to position, layers, and then that shadow is gonna go behind the circle there to give it a little bit of a lift. So there, we've technically made our own stamp, and throughout this photo or graphic, our colors, our brand color, one specific color is shown throughout without it being so like glaring in your face. So again, you make the background a little bit transparent, and then that color, background color icon is going to show, and then you could choose a color. And then here in the center, we use dual tone. And because it's more of a pale color, I swapped it for the white in custom. And then that's how we got this here. So that's one way you can change things around. Another way is going to make another copy is to use a colored border. So something that you can do is, this is a line here. You can actually make the thickness a bit more thick, and then make it a little bit shorter. So let's say I want to use, let's see how many colors I could possibly get. So I'm going to change the color here, make it a light pink, change this to a darker shade of pink. I'm gonna copy it, change that to a darker, and then change that to, I think I'm gonna do this green color. Then I'm just gonna select them all and then stretch it to the end there. So that's another way to add your brand colors. Let me actually get rid of this right here and put a little stamp on it. And what I could do is I could actually change the color of the stamp here, since I'm highlighting more of the pinks. And if that's, even if you wanted a stamp in this. So yeah, you could add a border there. You could also go to the extent of grouping this and copying it, and then make a border at the top or at the bottom of the graphic there. So there's one, you could literally take it all the way to the top here. And that's another subtle way of adding some color to your photo without it being so in your face. And then something you could do, if you do it at the top and the bottom, you can just rotate it there so that it's alternating. So you see this? This is another way to add some color to your graphic without it being so like in your face, just a subtle way. And then another way to do it, again, make another copy, is to change the color of your text. So if I wanted to use this color here, I could do that, and also swap out, that's not great, swap out the black for blue down there. So with that, what did I call it? Like a dark fuchsia or something. That color, because it's a darker hue, it's a great substitute for a black. But even if you had another color that you wanted to swap out, you could literally just use that color as long as the contrast is good. You want to make sure that it shows clearly on whatever background it's on. If it doesn't, your readers are going to have a hard time seeing it. And if people cannot comprehend what's on the screen, they're not going to take action, and you want them to take action. So you definitely want to keep that in mind. And then the last thing, which technically we've already done in the first photo, is to use dual tone again. So I'm just going to choose another color. Let's say I choose this color. Just going to copy it. Let me change that. What color was it? I think it was this color. All right, so let's say, oh, this goes back to the original black color. what you could essentially do is, go to edit, go to duotone. Hold on. Okay, I don't know why that's popping up, but anyway, change that since it's a darker color. And then you can add a color that way. Another thing you could do is actually, just to make things a bit more personal, is you could also add a cutout of yourself. And so in this case, I could do this. I'm just gonna crop it ahead of time. Use a background remover to cut it out and leave the color on this particular picture. And then it would probably be more fun if I had a photo where like I was in awe and my face was like, my mouth was open and I was shocked or something. That would be more of a fun photo to use for something like this. But you can be creative, put your own spin on stuff. And then you'll see that some of the text here is covered. So I would just change the alignment as well as the size. And then change it up that way, center it a little bit. So that's what I would do to, you know, add some brand colors into my graphics in a more subtle manner. We can look at this option as well. And again, do that duotone in the background. Let me copy, sorry. So again, we have that duotone, custom, change it there. And then I could actually change the text too. Go right ahead and do that. Change the color of the text, even though I didn't change it to my brand color, but anyway. So I could do that. I could have also, it's already dimmed and has black behind it. But if I want to be real extra, I could, you know, change up the colors there, even though the duotone is on top. It also gives it a little bit of a different blend of color there. And then you can write whatever you want to write to, you know, swap up the text and all of that. Again, I would change it to my fonts. And then, yeah, I would go on from there. And then again, with the border, you could go ahead and something you could do differently. I'm actually going to copy from one of the other ones. Something you could do is put a border at the end of some of these notepad paper things. Just gotta get it to line up nicely. I'm gonna bring it down. There you go. So now it's at the bottom of the notepad paper. It's not so like in your face, but again, it's supposed to be subtle. These are some subtle ways to add some color to the graphics that you design, especially if you don't, like if you have a feed that's just a whole bunch of color everywhere and you want to kind of tone things down to bring a little bit of a balance. These are some ways that you can do that. So with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let's go through it again. So this is how we started. We changed it up a bit, added our colors in borders, in the text, and then added a cutout on top of, you know, the background duotone and all that. And then there's just an extra. And then we added a border to this notepad and then changed the background color as well in our photo. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you guys in the next episode of Making Your Own Design Academy. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye. Have you tapped into your pharmacy benefits? As a beneficiary, you unlock special offers, gifts, and always stay in the loop. Subscribe today to receive your exclusive dose. Visit pharmacybenefits.com.